Om. या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः. Today we will start with a bhajan by Lakshmi Narayan.
Hello everybody. I'll be singing a song on Ambal called Kancha Dalaya Dakshi. Kancha Dalaya Dakshi Kancha Dalaya Dakshi Kamakshi Kanchadalaya Dakshi Kamakshi Kanchadalaya Dakshi Kamakshi Kanchadalaya Dakshi Kamakshi Kamala Manohari Tripura Sundari Kanchadalaya Dakshi Kamakshi Kamala Manohari Tripura Sundari Kanchadalaya Dakshi Kamakshi Kunjara Kamane Mani Mandita Manjula Charane Kunjara Kamane Mani Mandita Manjula Charane Kunjara Kamane Mani Mandita Manjula Charane Mamava Shiva Panchara Shuki Pankajamukhi Guru Guharanjani Durita Banjani Niranjani Kanchadalaya Dakshi Kunjara Kamane Mani Mandita Manjula Charane Mamava Shiva Panchara Shuki Pankajamukhi Guru Guharanjani Durita Banjani Niranjani Kanchadalaya Dakshi Kamakshi Kamala Manohari Tripura Sundari Kanchadalaya Dakshi Kamakshi Rakha Shivadane Rakha Shivadane Suratane Rakha Shivadane Suratane Rakha Shivadane Suratane Rakshita Madane Ratna Sadane Rakha Shivadane Suratane Rakshita Madane Ratna Sadane Shri Kanchana Vasane Shri Kanchana Vasane Suratane Shri Kanchana Vasane Suratane Sringarardraya Mandahasane Shri Kanchana Vasane सुरसने शृङ्गारार्द्रय मन्दहसने एकानेकाक्षरि भुवनेश्वरी एकानेकाक्षरि भुवनेश्वरि एकानन्दामृतजरि भास्वरि एकाक्रमणोलय हरिश्रीकरि एकाम्रेश गृहेश्वरि शङ्करी कञ्चदळाय दाक्षी एकानेकाक्षरि भुवनेश्वर एकानन्दामृतजरि भास्वर एकाक्रमणोलय हरिश्रीकरि एकाम्रेश गृहेश्वरि शङ्करी कञ्चदळाय दाक्षी कामाक्षि कमला मनोहरि त्रिपुर सुन्दरी कञ्चदळाय दाक्षी कामाक्षी हरि ओम.
Thank you very much. Okay. Now for our next segment today, actually, we will have a dance. So instead of a second bhajan, we will have a dance, and I'll just introduce this dance. This is by one of our Bal Vihar children. Her name is Sarah Wood, and she's going to do a dance called Kali Kautvam. And it's the meaning is Om, fierce of face. She is dark with flowing hair and four-armed. Dakshina Kalika divine, adorned with a garland of heads. In her lotus hands on the left, a severed head and a sword. She bestows sanctuary and blessings with her right hands. So this is based on the Dakshina Kali Dhyana mantra. And Sarah trains under Sahasra Sambhamurthy at the Navatman School of Dance and Music in Manhattan. So I'll go ahead and share my screen so we can see Sarah's dance.
Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dip, Om, Nam. Dip, Om, Nam. Yin, Yinato. Dip, Om, Nam. Dip, Om, Nam. Dip, Yinato. Dinna, Divyanta, Dinna, Mundamala Vibhushita, Mundamala Vibhushita, Takatita Takata, Parita Tadena, Dakshina Tadena, Divyanta Dena, Mundamala Vibhushita, Mundamala Vibhushita, Sakadipita Kata, Sasani Pamadaga, Pamadira, Makanita, Makanisa, Makanisa, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sadhya, Chena, Shira, Kartam, Mama, Dodha, Karam, Buja, Abhayam, Baram, Chal, Dakshina, Dhada, Panika, Sadhya, Chena, Shira, Kartam, Mama, Dodha, Karam, Buja, Abhayam, Baram, Chal, Dakshina, Dhada, Panika, Pani, Pama, Kama, Pani, Pani, Pama, Gani, Kama, Pani, Pama, Gani. Om Karala Vadanam Kona Muktam Keshin Chaturpuryam. Om Karala Vadanam Kona Muktam Keshin Chaturpuryam.
So we thank Lakshmi, Narayan, and Sarah for their song, their bhajan, for their dance this Navaratri. Today, we're going to see now the strength. We're going to continue our series. So on Monday, we saw strength of a mother. Tuesday, we saw strength of a wife. Today, we're going to see strength of a guru. So in our Sanatana Dharma, women or Shakti also plays the role of a guru. And we will explore in this context the life of Anandamayi Ma and her teachings. Before we go there, what is that guru and who is that guru? So many of us have questions about how do we find one? Who is truly one? And what does it mean to have a guru? So the first thing is, who is that guru? There are many, many types of gurus. We have a guru for music and dance. We have a guru for language. Our guru is also our parents, our mother and father. But there is one guru called Satguru, whose responsibility is to take us out of this realm of transmigration of samsara. This is called Satguru. So in our life, there is that such one Sadguru. Now the question is, how do we get one if we don't have one? So Anandamayi Ma herself says very beautifully that there is no difference between Guru and Bhagwan. The Guru is actually inside of us. Just like when we do puja, God is inside of us. Goddess is inside of us. When we do puja, we ask for that outer manifestation of goddess to come. Then we worship her, and then she comes back in our hearts. In the same way, Guru is actually in our hearts. There is something innate in all of us that always calls us back home, no matter how far we go, no matter how, many places that we turn away, there's something that always calls us back home. That's called Guru. And when we yearn for that so much, that Guru comes as an outward manifestation. Adi Shankaracharya Ji says himself that when Bhagavan is so pleased with your devotion and longing, that Guru comes as an outward manifestation. So someone will come into our lives. But the question is, are we capable or able enough to see the Guru in them? Sometimes we're surrounded by such people, but we don't even know, or we don't even recognize it. And the role of that Guru then is to actually tell us that the real Guru is inside. The role of that Sadguru is to tell us, look inside you, because Guru, God, and you are all one. So from inside, the quest goes outside, because we long for a form, we long for a name, we long for a being to have a relationship with. But then again, it comes back inside. So this is called Sadguru. And when we are blessed, when we have that punya in our lives, such a one comes into our life. And such a one that has come into many people's life is Anandamayi Ma. Anandamayi Ma, she was born on April 30, 1896, to Bipin Bihari Bhattacharya and Mokshada Sundari. And she was no ordinary child. When she was very young, both her parents were very spiritual. And when she was very young, her father used to, sing bhajans, sing lots of bhajans at night. Even, very rarely he would really, really sleep. He would sing all of these bhajans and sing the name of Hari. And so she once asked him, who is this Hari? And, he said, he's God. And she says, how big is this Hari? Is he as big as this ocean? How big is this Hari? And so her father said, why don't you sing his name? And you will see how big he really is. And that's exactly what she did. She spent her life just singing the name of God, chanting the name of God. And she would lose herself in it. She would get lost in kirtans. So much so that sometimes she would fall down unconscious, just not knowing where she was or what was happening. But she would get so lost in it. And sometimes, she would sing, she would dance, she would frolic. And so, when she got married, her husband said, maybe stay home, maybe don't listen to kirtan, because she just goes into a whole other level. But nobody could keep her away from it. And as these things manifested in her life, people began to realize her divinity and her divine nature. They just felt something in her. And so many people approached her, and they even called her Ma. And they felt that she was Goddess Durga herself, especially because Anandamayi Ma was born in Keora. She was born in Keora, which is it was in East Bengal, but now Bangladesh. So they saw her as Ma. Now, in and through her life, we're going to focus today on her strengths. What are the strengths of a Guru Ma? A Guru who comes as a mother? What are her strengths? And how does she manifest that in people's lives? So let me share that with you. Okay. So the first thing really we see is she has this strength of devotion. And, this is very much seen in her life. And anybody who comes to her, she says, chant the name of Bhagavan. If there's one thing that we can do, which is easy, it's free, we don't have to go anywhere, we don't have to purchase anything. She says, chant the name of God. Whomsoever we take as our Ishta Devata, just as she chanted the name of God, chant the name of God. And what happens when we keep chanting? She says that when we keep chanting, we will realize that this name is really all names. This one name that we find so dear to us is all names. And eventually we realize that God, Bhagavan, that divine, is unnamed, has no name and no form. And this she demonstrated in her life, although when she was married, she kept chanting the name of Hari. Her husband once said to her, "We're Shaktas, so why don't you chant the name of Shiva?" And she said, "Okay." And she started chanting the name of Shiva. And she realized when she was chanting the name of Hari, all kinds of asanas started to flow through her. When she chanted the name of Shiva, even more started flowing through her. So she just lost herself in that. And she does say that sometimes we won't feel like sitting down. Sometimes we don't want to do japa. Or we don't want to sit down. Sometimes the mind is not there at all. But start, she says. Just sit, she says. Because even if we just try to hold the mind steady, even if it's just for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, that is still success. That is still progress. And this requires immense effort. So the first thing we see about her was really she had that strength of devotion to God. Then we see that she also, as a Guru Ma, had the strength of discipline. So she would hold these things called Samyama Vratas or Saptaha. And this was held every year for 7 days. And she says, it is imperative to live a disciplined life so that it may be revealed and realized that God is himself advancing you towards supreme bliss, unalloyed happiness, bliss of self. So what used to happen is 7 days out of the year, people would come to the ashram and they would be given a vigorous program. Eat only maybe once a day, get up very, very early, and their meditation slots 2 or 3 times a day. And then they would also have kirtan, they would have mauna, and they would also have discourses on the Upanishads and the Puranas. And she said that these 7 days, she wants everyone to live a totally self-controlled life called samyama, to just see what that's like, to get a glimpse of what that's like, because it is essential to God realization. If we continue to live life like this without discipline, doing whatever we want, it's very hard to reach that state, because when we are indisciplined, we give in to the wants of our body, mind, and intellect. But when we are disciplined, we sort of turn ourselves inward to that spiritual force that guides us to that. So this Samyama Vratas, she was quite strict about it. And she told everybody to leave everything. It's like how Puja Gurudev, when we go to Siddhabari, when people go to Siddhabari, he gives everyone orange robes, because he says when you're in Siddhabari, you're in sannyas mode, and that's all you think about. Don't think about anything else. So this also was a very important thing in her life. Now we'll go and see the next strength. Next was her strength of faith. And this is a very, very beautiful line that she also gave to people. She said, if you have real faith, there's no need to say anything. As long as you say, I do, the ego has remained and there will be sorrow. There's no refuge except to depend entirely on him. While walking on the road, you will stumble. So long as you carry the 3 bundles, the triputi, with you, there will be sorrow. So very, very beautifully, she says, if you and I have faith, there's no need to say anything. Means if you and I are questioning, why is this happening to us? How is this happening? Why is the world the way it is? Why is my life like this? If you and I have such questions, that means our faith isn't real. Because if we really had faith, that everything is happening as it should happen, everything is just as it should be, then we wouldn't question. we wouldn't question, we wouldn't doubt, we would just accept and know that everything is part of our prarabdha karma. Everything is a result of our karma. Somebody asked Anandamayi, why is it that there's this all-powerful, all-loving God? Why is it that we get so much distress? Why is it that we get so much sorrow in our life if there is this all-loving and all-powerful God? And she says it's because it's a process of cleansing. Just like she gives this example of a baby. When the mother bathes the baby, what happens is the mother bathes the baby and scrubs the baby clean. And sometimes the baby doesn't like it and the baby cries, but the mother does it anyway. She scrubs the baby clean. And after that very baby, she dries it, caresses it, and brings that baby to her lap. So she says, in the very same way, Bhagavan scrubs us and cleanses us through this showering process, through all those things that are happening to us. Bhagavan is scrubbing us. And then he himself will take us into his arms and lay us on his lap. So everything is happening as it should. If we really, really had faith, then we wouldn't question. Then someone proceeded to ask her, but how can this be God's Leela? She says, suffering is only rooted in duality. And that's what she says in that quote, that as long as we carry this triad, the triad of knower, known, and knowing, as long as we remain in this triad, we will suffer. As long as we say, I do, we will suffer. One of our Swamiji says very beautifully, when we say, I am blank, that means we are sentenced. Whenever we make a sentence, I am blank, or I do this, then we are sentenced. So he says, never make a sentence of yourself, because you and I will be sentenced. We will be like a prisoner. So we ourselves are imprisoning ourselves. We ourselves are carrying that burden on ourselves. She gives one other example of this man on a train who carries his luggage on the head because he's afraid that, he'll be charged extra. He'll be charged extra money if he puts his luggage down. He doesn't realize that the train is going, it doesn't matter whether it's on his head or it's in the floor, it's gonna move anyway. It doesn't matter, he's not gonna be charged extra. And so she said, our condition is like this. We choose to burden ourselves by identifying ourselves with the limited. And when we do that, life will go on. We can live life that way, or we can lift that burden, put it on the ground, and we'll still move. So the option is ours. Are we going to carry that burden or drop it? So this is her strength. Now, here, she also has this strength of simplicity. So what we see many times in our realized masters is that they are able to convey the deepest thoughts in very simple words. And so these are some of the aphorisms that she had, that she would tell people very, very often. So we'll go through a few of them. So when she was asked, what is the supreme truth? She says, Jata, whatsoever that. So what is the supreme truth? She says, whatsoever, that's the supreme truth. What does this mean? From her very depth, she was trying to convey that everything is that supreme truth. What can be outside of it? That which is the substratum of everything, the origin and the dissolution point of everything. What can be outside of it? Whatever exists, exists because of it. Nothing can exist without the self. So she says, what is the supreme? Jata. Whatsoever is there, that is the supreme. That is the clay amidst the pot and the pitcher. That is the gold amidst the bracelet and necklace. So this was her way of conveying that simplicity. Then when people asked her, who are you? Because people were quite puzzled about her identity. She seemed like she was some kind of goddess to some she was a teacher. She would always tell everybody, I'm your daughter. So she would refer to mothers and fathers. She would say Mataji, Pitaji. You're like Mataji and Pitaji. And people who are, with her, she would say they're my brothers and my sisters. So she was very much like a daughter to some, like a friend to some, like a guru to some, like a goddess to some. And so people asked her, who are you? And she said, Jemon bajabe, temoni shunbe. Means as you play, so you hear. And this is her strength of adaptability and insight. So with a guru, their speciality is that, yes, the message of the Upanishads is one, but they are the ones that communicate this message. So to whomever asks them in a certain way, they will respond in that way. So Anadvaitin came to Anandamayi and she responded with that depth. And they felt that she was Advaitin. Then Advaitin came to her and she responded in that language. They thought she was Dvaitin. A Buddhist monk came to her. She responded in that way. A Christian person came to her. She responded in that way. So whoever came to her, that's the response she gave. And that was the beauty of her life. Everybody felt that she knew them because she responded from their experience. And sometimes also people question, why is it that the guru gives contradicting advice? So some people came to Anandamayi and they wanted to leave this worldly life. And she said, no, you should not leave. You need to educate yourself, finish your education, go through schooling, complete everything. You need to finish everything. And then somebody else asked her the same question. She said, education is not necessary. If you really have the fire and the burning passion in you, then you can leave. So she was very, very sharp in her ability to relate to people. And what's beautiful is that, some people are afraid to lose some gurus. They have these followings and they're afraid to lose these followings. So they try to please everyone there. But she was never like that. There were people in there who, who did things that were wrong and she called them out. And so one person, he did something wrong. He called somebody a name, he misbehaved. And so she looked at him and she kept on pointing out that flaw again and again and again till it really hit him. And he was so disturbed by it. He felt like, why does she keep on harping on that? Then later on, he realized that she was trying to teach him a lesson. She was trying to teach him to see that flaw inside of him, which otherwise he wouldn't see. Sometimes it takes a guru like that to show us our flaws and our faults because we're so blind to them. We live with ourselves every day, all the time. So sometimes we're so blind to our own faults. But grateful are we or blessed are we when we get such a guru that will tell us, this is your flaw. So at least we can improve. Otherwise, we would spend our lives just not knowing how we can be better. So here is her beautiful, beautiful thing that she always says, Jemon bajabe, temoni shunbe. As you play, so you hear. Whatever way people related to her, that's how she related to them. Her adaptability, the strength of her adaptability. Then we also have a few aphorisms on the strength of her simplicity. So again, we explore how simple she really was. And, Einstein once said, if you can explain something to a young child, then that means you've understood it. Sometimes we try to say all these words to explain such concepts, and we talk too much and we don't really explain it. We evade it. But she was very much on point, on par. She says, Jar Jemon Bhava Tar Temon Labha. As the approach, so the need. So what this means is she was very much open to all faiths and all religions, because she said that everybody is seeking that truth. She gives a very beautiful example on how we seek truth. She says that just like babies, young babies, they're crying and so different people try to hold them and caress them and pat them. Different people try to hold them. One uncle, one auntie, one father, one brother, sister, etc. Different type of people try to hold that baby, but that baby doesn't stop crying. The baby only stops crying when it comes to the mother. And she says that we are the same way. We are crying and crying and crying, and we move from person to person, thing to thing. We will not stop crying until we come to that mother, that truth. And so whatever way a person can come to that truth, let that person come. We don't need to judge. But she also says one shouldn't think that their way is the only way. As the kind of person, as the way the person approaches, so too they will gain it. They will reach that divine, but let them go the way they need to go. But nobody should think that that's the only way to go, because the truth is beyond any language. The truth is beyond any name. The truth is beyond any form. So let everybody approach the way they need to approach, but they'll only find peace in that which is nameless and formless. We'll do maybe one more. She says, now this is so simple. What is the cure for all disease? Tat bhavaroga. Ulat jao. She says that's all. Take a U-turn. That's all you have to do. So the cure for any disease, ulat jao. Just take a U-turn. In this context, I remember Gurudev in one of his talks. He says, life is this. This much is life. There are people who turn outwards, and there are people who turn inwards. So all we have to do is do this, and that's it. That's it. As simple as that. So if there's any problem, this can be taken in so many contexts. Any problem, we're going through something with someone and there's a dialogue, this happened, that happened. Instead of going out blaming someone, going out criticizing someone, ulat jao, turn with it. What can I fix? What can I make better? Now, if I'm thinking of the world of samsara and why is this happening? Ulat jao. Think again. It's supporting my inward quest. It's helping to fuel me. It's helping me reach the absolute. If my mind is going outward, it cannot focus. Ulat jao, U-turn. Just try and hold that divinity within. There are many more, but due to limitation in time, I will stop here. But this is the strength of a Guru Ma. So sometimes, we don't understand the depth of the Guru, why the Guru does what they do. But the Guru also comes as the Devi, she also comes as Guru Ma. She comes as mother, she comes as wife, she comes as Guru Ma. And today, in the life of Anandamayi Ma, we saw how strong she can really be. She has that strength of devotion, strength of faith, strength of discipline, strength of simplicity, adaptability, strength of depth. And most of all, that Guru Ma has the strength of truth. So blessed are we if we get one such guru in our lives. And if we do, let us for sure bow down to them because they are the mother herself. All right. Now we'll go ahead with the puja. So those of you who are following me, make sure your video is on so that way I can check and make sure everything's okay. Then I'll have Nitya, you're here, so I'll have you repeat some things after me today also. Okay. All right. We'll start with Vigneshwara Dhyanam. Atha Vigneshwara Dhyanam. Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashante. Atha Achamanam. Take some water in our palm. Om Keshavaya Swaha. Om Madhavaya Swaha. Om Narayanaya Swaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. And touch our ear. Okay. Next, we'll do the pranayama. So everybody knows. We'll close the left nostril, breathe in through the right, hold for 33 ohms, then breathe out through the left nostril. So that we can focus and concentrate during the puja. Now we'll do the puja sankalpa. So you can take some rice and flour, your right hand, then cup your left hand, cup it in your left hand and put it in your right knee. Yeah. Now I'll chant the sankalpa. Om Namo Pata Samasta Turitakshaya Dvara Shri Parameshwari Prityartham Asmin Shubhamuhurte Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Vidya Vinaya Praptyartham Shri Sadguru Prasada Siddhyartham Cha Dhyana Vahanadi Shodashopacharehi Shri Bhagavati Devi Pujam Karishye. For flowers to Devi. And now we'll ring the bell. So in case there's any inauspicious thing in anyone's mind, it goes away. Now we'll do Ganesha Guru Smaranam. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay. Now we will do the Shodashopachara. So the first step is to really do Dhyanam on Devi. So you can look at Durga Devi and just imagine her in your heart. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Now we'll do the Avahanam. So your left hand on your heart, right hand on Devi. The Avahanam. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Avahayami. So from our hearts, we bring the Devi here so that we can worship her. Next, we will give her a seat. So you can take a flower and put it close to your heart. The Asanam. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Asanam Samarpayami. Now that she's sitting, we will offer her water for her feet, for her hands, and to drink. Atapadyam Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Padyam Samarpayami. I will wash her hands. Ata Arghyam Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Arghyam Samarpayami. Now we'll offer her water to drink. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Achamaniyam Samarpayami. Then I'll give her a little bath. So you can take flour, put it in, dip it in water. The Snanam. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Snanam Samarpayami. Then you can make sure to dry the image that you have. Okay. Now we'll offer her vastram. So if you have a cotton or a piece of cloth, you can offer her. Here I have more bangles for her. The vastram. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Vastram Samarpayami. The Gandhalepanam. Now we'll offer her Chandan Kumkum. So you can get that ready. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Divya Gandham Dharayami. Gandhasya upari kumkumam samarpayami. Now we'll offer her akshata. The akshata. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Akshatan Samarpayami. Then pushpam, flower. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Pushpam Samarpayami. Now we will do the Archana. So we will do 27 names. I will say one name and then Nitya can repeat. And you can offer with each Namaha. Om Shriye Namaha.
Om Shriye Namaha.
Om Umaye Namaha.
Om Umaye Namaha.
Om Bharatye Namaha.
Om Bharatye Namaha.
Om Bhadraye Namaha.
Om Bhadraye Namaha.
Om Sharavanye Namaha.
Om Sharavanye Namaha.
Om Vijayaye Namaha.
Om Vijayaye Namaha.
Om Jayaye Namaha.
Om Jayaye Namaha.
Om Vanye Namaha.
Om Vanye Namaha.
Om Sarvagataye Namaha.
Om Sarvagataye Namaha.
Om Gaurye Namaha.
Om Gaurye Namaha.
Om Varahye Namaha.
Om Varahye Namaha.
Om Kamalapriyaye Namaha.
Om Kamalapriyaye Namaha.
Om Saraswatye Namaha.
Om Saraswatye Namaha.
Om Kamalaye Namaha.
Om Kamalaye Namaha.
Om Mayaye Namaha.
Om Mayaye Namaha.
Om Matangye Namaha.
Om Matangye Namaha.
Om Aparaye Namaha.
Om Aparaye Namaha.
Om Ajaye Namaha.
Om Ajaye Namaha.
Om Shankabharye Namaha.
Om Shankabharye Namaha.
Om Shivaye Namaha.
Om Shivaye Namaha.
Om Chandaye Namaha.
Om Chandaye Namaha.
Om Kundalye Namaha.
Om Kundalye Namaha.
Vaishnavye Namaha.
Om Vaishnavye Namaha.
Om Kriyaye Namaha.
Om Kriyaye Namaha.
Om Shriye Namaha.
Om Shriye Namaha.
Om Aindraye Namaha.
Om Aindraye Namaha.
Om Madhumatye Namaha.
Om Madhumatye Namaha.
Om Durgaye 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 Namaha.
Okay, right. Now we will do the dhupam. So those of you who are at home, you can light your agarbatti. Tadhupam. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha. Dhupam samarpayami. Atha Deepaha. So next step is the Deepa. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha. Deepam Sandarshayami. Now is the Naivedyam. So whatever fruits you have, whatever food you have, you bring it up to Devi. You can offer it to her. The Naivedyam. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha. Naivedyam Nivedayami. Om Pranaya Swaha. Apanaya Swaha. Dhyanaya Swaha. Udanaya Swaha. Samanaya Swaha. Brahmane Swaha. Brahmane Swaha. Brahmane Swaha. Now we'll do the Mangala Nirajanam. So you can get your Aarti Thali. You can do Aarti to Durga Mata. Om Natatra Suryo Bhati na Chandra Tarakam Nema Vidyuto Bhanti Kuto Yamagnihi Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidam Vibhati. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha. Mangala Nirajanam Samarpayami. So I can take Aarti. Now we'll have the Rajopachara, which we can just think about Durga Devi and she will be entertained by us. So we'll have Aishwarya for the bhajan.
ओंकार बीजाक्षरी माता गौरी उमा शंकरी ओंकार बीजाक्षरी माता गौरी उमा शंकरी श्री अम्ब परमेश्वरी देवी दाक्षायणी सुंदरी श्री अम्ब परमेश्वरी देवी दाक्षायणी सुंदरी जय जगदम्बा जय जय भवानी जय शिवरमणी माता जय त्रिपुरांबा गजमुख जननी लोक पावनी माता जय जगदम्बा जय जय भवानी जय शिवरमणी माता जय त्रिपुरांबा गजमुख जननी लोक पावनी माता सौभाग्य संपत्करी प्रत्यक्ष महेश्वरी सौभाग्य संपत्करी अम्बा प्रत्यक्ष महेश्वरी श्री दुर्गा परमेश्वरी देवी पार्वती शिव शंकरी पार्वती शिव शंकरी जय जगदम्बा जय जय भवानी जय शिवरमणि माता जय त्रिपुराम्बा गजमुख जननी लोक पावनी माता जय जगदम्बा जय जय भवानी जय शिवरमणि माता जय त्रिपुराम्बा गजमुख जननी लोक पावनी माता काशीपुराधीश्वरी माता अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी काशीपुराधीश्वरी अम्मा माता अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी भिक्षादानेश्वरी देवी माता कृपा सागरी माता कृपा सागरी जय जगदम्बा जय जय भवानी जय शिवरमणि माता जय त्रिपुराम्बा गजमुख जननी लोक पावनी माता जय जगदम्बा जय जय भवानी जय शिवरमणि माता जय त्रिपुराम्बा गजमुख जननी लोक पावनी माता ओंकार बीजाक्षरी माता गौरी उमा शंकरी
So let's just spend a few moments in silence, just reveling in Devi. And today we can offer up to her anything that holds us back from the spiritual path. Anything in us which we see is our shortcoming. Whatever it is, it could be a quality, it could be a habit, it could be an attachment. What is our shortcoming? Imagine that Devi is coming to us as Guru and she's telling us, she's hinting to us that shortcoming, and let us offer it to her. Just take a moment and bring that to our hearts. Om. Now, whatever it is that you thought of, think about it in this flower, in this form of flower. We'll offer it to Devi. Ata pushpam Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Pushpam Samarpayami. Now we'll do the Pradakshina Namaskara. So whatever it is that we seek forgiveness for, let us bring that to mind and we can chant. Yani kani cha papani janmantara kritani cha tani tani vinashyanti pradakshina pade pade. Om Shri Durgaye Namaha Pradakshina Namaskaram Samarpayami. Bow down to Devi. If you are with your mother, your wife, daughter, sister, please also do Namaskara to her. She's also Durga Devi in your house. You must respect that Durga Devi, because otherwise when she unleashes, the whole world falls apart, huh? Okay, we'll do now the prarthana and tell Devi that we're doing this puja, and but we don't do it every day. So every day, let our thoughts and words and deeds be a puja unto you. Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayam narayanayeti samarpayam. Then we'll take some water to signify the end of the puja. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Now we'll do the Udvasana. We will tell Devi, come back to our hearts. Put your left hand on your heart, right hand on the image. Om Tishta Tishta Parasthane Swasthane Parameshwari Yatra Brahmadayo Devaha Sarve Tishtanti Me Hride. Atashanti Mantraha. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukinaha Sarve Santu Niramayam Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhav Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Wishing everyone happy Navaratri. Tomorrow we will have the Days of Lakshmi by Lakshmi Ji. So we will now have virtue. So Durga Devi has taken out our negativities. We're ready to receive virtues. So please come tomorrow at the same time and we'll see you then. Right? Hari Om.